All right. Welcome back to Ice Open Media. Prophet John here. Hope you guys are doing well. Okay, so let's get started. The Dow, look, guys and girls, we're not in the crash yet. Okay, as you can see, we're clearly not in the crash yet. I mean, we've been down big this week. Probably one of the biggest weeks that we've been down in a long time. But it's not a crash. We're not crashing. The Bulls are fighting. Well, I'm not going to say the Bulls are fighting back. The Fed are fighting back. The Fed have pumped $60 billion into the markets every day and trying to keep it up. Last 2 days, excluding this day, I think the Fed started buying right here today. Like I said, so the Feds probably learned the lesson there. They were buying in pre-market, and right when the markets were opening, the Fed would pump it, and they injected 60 billion. I think was Tuesday, right in the morning. 60 billion, another 60 something billion on Wednesday, right in the morning. So we were up 200 points on Tuesday. We were up 300 points on Wednesday, and those all gave back. All those gains were given back and then some. Today, the Fed's pumped basically right here. So right there, 26,000. They didn't allow 26,000 to break. Started pumping and pumping and pumping, and then I made a tweet. The Feds are pumping money into the markets right now. Let's see what happens when they're done. So it looks like we topped out here at around 26,700. So that's a 700 point move, right, from the Feds in a quick instant. When you're pumping 60 billion into the markets, you're going to move 700 really fast, right? So that's a nice pump there. Okay, so are they done? And somebody in the Telegram group said, watch 2 o'clock because 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Um, the markets are going to crash again. Probably going to crash again. Let's see what happens here. We're watching it here, so 2 p.m. is right here. So we still have about 30 minutes to go before 2 p.m. So and it's starting to head downwards now a little bit. So we'll see. We'll see if it breaks 400 here, and we'll see if it starts to crash again. Usually that's what happens after the Feds are done pumping. The markets go right straight down. No one's buying this market. And there it is, it just crossed 400. So, can you imagine pumping 50 to $60 billion into something that doesn't stay green? Can you imagine that? Can you imagine the Feds pumping 60 billion into your company and your company's still not profitable? I mean, it doesn't even make sense, right? So 50 to 60 billion being injected into the markets, and the markets are still red. Can you imagine if they didn't pump money in the market? Where would we be at right now? Can you imagine if the Feds didn't pump over $10 trillion into this market since September? Where would we be right now? Right. So, some people think we probably be at $8,000 right now, 8,000 points in the Dow right now. Which would have made some of you guys that have the four stocks really happy, but we would have been living in a different life. That's catastrophic. So I don't know what type of lifestyle we would be living right now, but I know people with the four stocks would have been happy. But that doesn't mean that just because you're a millionaire or a billionaire or 100 millionaire, what about everybody else? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? So like it's like, okay, like you're happy, but everybody else has been devastated, right? So we're under 400 now on the Dow. Dow's starting to creep down, and so is everything else now. And looks like the Feds are stopped pumping. Looks like the Feds are done. So S&P 500 down 46. Nasdaq is down 161, and global Dow is down 65. Gold is down again, just $1. Oil continues to get crashed. Oil continues to get slaughtered here, and that's because no one's pumping gas right now because everybody's inside, right? And the Middle East, coronavirus is going crazy in the Middle East. Iran, we're gonna check out the numbers for Iran. And so the borders are shut as well. So Middle East countries have shut borders, um, and that is affecting oil prices like crazy. Okay, so oil prices, South Korea is South Korea just announced Japan just announced all school closures, and Japan. So nationwide. So you know what I mean. So South Korea numbers continue to jump, and Italy numbers continue to jump. So that's what's going on, man. And this is not going to just affect airlines. Airlines are going to lose trillions of dollars, right, in the next earnings. First quarter earnings, third quarter earnings for airlines are going to be historically ridiculous, right? And so there's not going to be good news for airlines. Well, guess what? Airlines use gas and oil and stuff, right? So gas and oil price are going to take a hit, you know. Um, Okay, we're coming back up a little bit now. We're at 379. All right. So, and then you have people traveling and all types of stuff, right? And so vendors and vending machines and airport stores and stores, you know, overseas foreign people that are traveling to foreign land. Those places are going to take major hits. It's just a trickle effect all around. What about Microsoft businesses and that are in South Korea and all the other businesses in South Korea that produce microchips and things like that for computers and phones and stuff? All these things are shut down. Same thing in China. So it's all a trickling effects going to affect all the numbers. We Saturn just just did some cutbacks today, announced cutbacks. A whole bunch of companies are announcing cutbacks. PayPal just announced that they're going to be losing at least 1% in the first quarter on earnings on revenue. So that's at least 1%. They thinking it could be a lot more than 1%, but right now they're factoring at least 1% loss in earnings. It could be a lot more. It could be 10%, right? They don't know, but they're at least they let everybody know that they're going to lose at least 1% in earnings in the first quarter, or just right now, and we still have 2 more months in the first quarter, right? I mean, how long is the first quarter? Each quarter is there's 12 months. Each quarter is 3 months. I can't even do math right now. Yeah, each quarter is 3 months, so we still have 1 more month. We still have March, right? So first quarter is January, February, March. Okay, so there's 4 quarters, and 3 times 4 is 12, and then it's 12 months. So 3 months per quarter. All right, so there we go. It says coronavirus is punishing airline stocks. It might be an opportunity to buy. Why would I buy airline stocks right now when the coronavirus hasn't even started in America yet with the real numbers, right? We haven't even started seeing close downs in most of Europe and America yet. Once that happens, then maybe you can start saying, okay, let me grab a little bit of the coronavirus. I mean, the airline stocks, but we haven't seen shutdowns in America yet. I believe that's going to start happening in March. So March is probably when America is going to start shutting down things. And same thing with Europe. So we haven't seen that yet. So I think I would wait to see that before I start buying any airline stocks. Um, because right now everything's still normal in America. We haven't even seen America shut down anything. America hasn't stopped people from coming in, and they're being quarantined, I think, or being investigated, or you have to go through some type of health screening, I think, before you can pass. I don't know, but anyways, once we start seeing America shut down stuff, I think that's when we'll see the worst of the worst for airline stocks. And then same thing with Europe. I think America and Europe are going to do the same thing together. So Italy is at 528 and continues to rise. But look at South Korea. Would they gain another 766? Look at that. So another 766 added to South Korea. I wonder what's going to be added tonight. I mean, it's rising very quickly here in South Korea. So I wonder. We haven't heard anything about South Korea locking down schools and stuff yet. So that hasn't happened yet to try to stop the spread. Japan did, and they're only at 189. So is Japan lying about their numbers? Because you're locking down a whole nation for 180 people, 189 people. There's something's going on. Um, I doubt Japan is at 180, 89. I think Japan's a lot higher, and they're not. Same thing with America. America's at 60. Give me a break, right? America's at 3,000 plus, but whatever. That's just me. And when you got over 7,000 people in Washington State alone being watched, and now you got all these cases in Oregon. You got all these cases, and you got 700 people in quarantine in New York. You got 80 to 90 new cases in the area in Long Island and all these other places, and we're only at 60. Then that's just I just mentioned two states. There's 49. There's what 48 other states. Can you imagine what the number in America really is? Okay, so America's numbers is probably ridiculous, but Donald Trump doesn't want those numbers out. He wants to safeguard America and he doesn't want panic, and he doesn't want the markets to crash. Anyways, so that's what's going on. Hope you guys enjoyed that. 33,000 have recovered. One person I think in either South Korea or Japan has been reinfected. So that's pretty weird. That's the first time I've heard about a reinfection. So somebody who has been reinfected, they had the virus, they were cured of the virus, and then now they have the virus again. So somebody got reinfected for the first time that I've heard. I don't maybe if it's happened in China, but it happened in either I think it was South Korea or Japan. Somebody got reinfected. Also, Iran's vice president has the coronavirus, is what I was hearing on. I think Benny put it up on Twitter and I retweeted it. I'm thinking it was the Iran's vice president. I don't know much about him because he doesn't really do anything, and maybe he's just there for ceremonial roles, just like Iraqi's vice presidents are. And now our vice president is Pence is in control of the coronavirus in America now. All reports will go to him, and he's going to be answering all the questions. Donald Trump has assigned him to be the guy who does everything on the coronavirus. So, and Donald Trump was talking yesterday, of course, to America and answering questions. And he said, "Look, I mean, this thing could go really bad, or it could go or we could control it and it could be gone. In a couple of months, a couple of weeks, couple of months. So he's like, all scales are open. It could go really bad here in America, or it could go really good, right? And so we just have to wait and see how that plays out. All right, so that's the update on the Dow and the virus, and prayers to South Korea because it looks like the numbers are going to continue to blossom here unless they can do something about it. I mean, South Korea on the verge of having, within the next 7 days, they're having over 10,000 people infected if they don't get a handle of this very quickly here. All right, so that's what's going on. Same thing for Italy. Italy's starting to bloom out of control as well. Iran also jumped massively here from like what was Iran at? Iran was like what 103 or something like that, or 80, 98 or 98, 105. I can't remember what it was. Now they're at 245. So let's see if they continue to explode up here as well, or they maybe they get a control of. I'm surprised Hong Kong is only at 92. I'm surprised Hong Kong and also Singapore only at 92. I think something is not right about that. Those numbers there. I don't think Singapore and Hong Kong are only at 90. There's so many Chinese people that come in and out of Hong Kong and Singapore. I would suspect that those numbers would be way higher than that. You would think these would be at 9,000 apiece. Anyways, that's it. Peace out. God bless. And eyes open. No fear, of course. Bye.